Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this exclusive webinar scheduled by Media and Entertainment Skills Council in association with Global Media Education Council. Today, we are talking about internet activism and social movements by Ms. Swati Agarwal ji. I'll take this privilege to welcome Ms. Swati Agarwal as an expert and as an assistant professor in School of Media, Communication and Fashion at Adamas University. Ms. Agarwal is a postgraduate in journalism and mass comm from the University of Calcutta. She has completed her graduation in Sri Shikshayatin College, and she is UGC NET qualified and also pursuing PhD. So many things going on together for Ms. Swati Agarwal, and she has her research interest in the new media, social media, and communication studies. She has participated and presented papers in number of national as well international conferences and seminars. She has written research papers in various publications as well. So it's really amazing to learn from her today on internet activism and social movements. Swati ma'am, you're most welcome on this platform.
Thank you so much, Pooja. So, hello everyone. I am Swati Agarwal, Assistant Professor in the Department of Journalism and Communication in the School of Media and Communication at Adamas University. So, I'm really happy and I'm thankful to Media and Entertainment Skills Council to invite me over here. And today's session will be on internet activism and social movements.
Yes, ma'am.
So, just give me a few seconds. I'll start my presentation.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll give you the rights and I'll be learning at the back end. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. I hope my presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
You can make it full screen though. Yes, it's visible now.
So let me begin today's session by quoting a very popular human rights and social justice activist, Nelson Mandela, who once said, "No one can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference." In the current situation, in the contemporary world where we are living today, every individual today possesses the power to make a change. In today's scenario, his words seem to resonate. Now, before we move to the concept of activism, let me share an image with you. Tell me, how many of you have seen this before? So, yes, in this image, you saw the very famous Bill Gates dumping a bucket of water on his head. So, why does he do so? This image is of the hashtag Ice Bucket Challenge, also known as the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which helped to promote awareness of the disease ALS and raise donation to research in 2014. In this activity, when a participant should put a bucket of ice water over his head, either by any other person or self-administered, then the person has to nominate others to do the same within 24 hours and upload a video or donate to the ALS Association. It was extremely popular among social media users in around July-August 2014. So now let's move on to understand what activism is. Activism is not a new concept. It has existed since the civilization started. Be it the known as a period of radical changes in France, which resulted in the upturning of the feudal estate system, or the Renaissance, where modern thinking prevailed. From there, modern thinking starts. A social movement often arises with the aim of bringing about changes on a public issue or any social change. Any form of activism, it cannot happen in a world. It requires the use of communication channels so that one can spread the messages to other people and gather support and unite people for different causes so that we can reach the masses and explain them about the cause and why the activism is being carried out. The support of the masses is very important when we are dealing with activism, as when the society it unites for a cause, only then a social change can be brought about. This then, you must have heard about mass mobilization. So we can mobilize the masses only with the help of communication channels. We have to reach them, only then they will be supporting us. So this will result in a collective action. This collective action can bring changes in the society. So throughout history, we have seen events which use different communication channels for mass mobilization. The ability to reach people is the biggest strength of communication. This is the reason media holds so much power. In the past few years, there has been a rapid growth in the use of the internet. So internet penetration has increased, as you all must be seeing around you, and easy availability of the internet also at cheaper prices. All these have been factors which compels people to use more digital technology. We say that the digital medium promotes democracy. It's a more democratic medium. The new media is more democratic. So one of the characteristics of the new media is that it increases participation among the people. It's a participatory medium, and it gives a huge opportunity to the individuals of the society to connect and discuss and express their ideas and opinions and make their views known to everyone. So it gives a huge scope and it gives a huge scope of interaction, and it makes discussion possible, which is very necessary for the democracy to flourish. The FICCI Ernst& Young report of 2022, if we go by the figures and data which is available, the FICCI Ernst& Young report of 2022 on media and entertainment sector, it says that digital media has been the second largest segment of the media and entertainment sector. So it has shown growth of 68 billion through 2021. Through the last year, it has actually recorded a growth of 68 billion, which is phenomenal. The report also states that India has shown remarkable growth in terms of adoption to the digital technology. So the report also says that the people in India, the Indian citizens, the people who are living in India, they have been very easily adopting to the newer technology which is available. So the study also found out that there are around 795 million broadband connections and over 500 million smartphone users in the nation. So these figures actually tell you how much popular the new media is. So the rise in the use of digital technology has actually contributed to activism and social movements taking throughout the globe, as everyone can now know about the events which are happening anywhere in the world. So wherever, even if a small village, if something is happening, person sitting in different countries can see it, they can view it, they can follow it, they can also comment on it and provide their opinions. So we have today a global audience, and the global audience can interact among themselves. So I want to explain you the meaning of social justice, because we are dealing with this internet activism and social movements. So I would like to explain you the meaning of social justice. So the primary subject of social justice, it is the basic structure of the society, or more exactly, the way in which the major social institutions, they distribute fundamental rights and duties. This has been said by a very popular researcher, and they determine the division of advantages from social cooperation. So internet, when in today's world, internet is present, and internet justice, we keep on hearing about internet justice and internet activism. So they actually encourage good governance through more accountability, more transparency, and more participation. So all this help internet users to protect human rights even more than before, and also help in providing a good governance. So now let's come to understanding what is online activism. Now, another researcher has said that internet activism is the form of protest or advocacy. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah.
Sorry, it just changed. The screen got stuck. Now it's moving. Thank you.
Achha, for how long? Achha,
No. It's working. It's good. Thanks.
Okay, all right. So a researcher said that internet activism is a form of protest or advocacy for that causes online or social media platforms. Hashtags play a very important factor in mobilizing these movements, which are also called as hashtag activism because they make use of hashtags a lot. So online activism is all about creating awareness and showing solidarity through the use of hashtags, videos, photos, campaigns, posts. So you make of online media, you make use of online media a lot, and that when you are creating activism on the internet, you're making use of online tools that is known as online activism. So hashtag activism, it allows people or organizations to spark a widespread discussion through social media. Whether they want to fight for the cause or they want to support a cause. If they have an event which has been happening which requires the attention of the people, and you need the online users to have a look at it, so you can use these tools in order to promote for it. So since information spreads very fast to the social media, many people believe that this hashtag activism or the internet activism is a very effective form of advocacy. So now activism always is not very active. So we also have something called as the passive activism, which is also referred to as slacktivism. Now, what is slacktivism? Suppose you have users, everyone uses social media nowadays. So when someone is supporting a social cause through participation by sharing a post, they are commenting, they are making donations for the cause, but they are not engaging in a meaningful discussion or a dialogue, or they are not helpful in bringing about a radical or a meaningful change. That is also referred as passive activism. So there are many people who comment on such posts where the intention is to bring about activism, but then we don't go ahead and actually go and participate in the protest which is going on. So that can be termed as passive activism. But we are definitely seeing the post and we are liking it and we are sharing it. So social media involvement helps in building support, and it creates a network of patterns for important issues. So therefore, it has the capacity to create an impact on people. So those individuals who express their experiences and opinions and provide support to organize events, they are known as the activists. So they are actually the people who are organizing these activities, and it's not always that people are only carrying out activism on the internet. Sometimes it is also complemented by the offline activism, which is there. Suppose you are posting on internet about the event which has happened or the cause which has happened, and then you carry out that particular event offline also. So you're actually calling out to the people to take some action. So internet activism is growing perhaps because of the rise of technology and increasing penetration of the internet. The widespread popularity of social media platforms make it an appropriate choice for the activists to popularize and advertise such activities so that one can drive supporters from the online to the offline, and then they can make them join the conscious and collective effort which is going on. So now let us discuss some very popular online activism campaigns which have been carried out. So the first one which I have to discuss is the Black Lives Matter, hashtag Black Lives Matter. So it's a very popular campaign which started around in 2014. This particular campaign began with a social media hashtag, which is Black Lives Matter, after a police official shot Trayvon Martin. Also, the movement started gaining momentum when more such cases started happening. So many such cases have been reported, and people wanted to vent out on the issue, and social media became a very popular choice, a very popular platform for voicing out such opinions. So to criticize this particular act and voice the brutality and speak about the brutality carried out by the police officers on a certain section of the people. So the social media was full of posts speaking about racism and police brutality on African American people. Since then, it has established itself as a worldwide movement since 2014 when it started. So it was not a systematically organized movement by any particular group or any organization. Rather, it was initiated by random users of the social media who had known about the issue and who wanted to speak about it. And they are the people who spoke against this heinous act carried out by the police officers. So over the years, this hashtag kept on returning and attracted a lot of attention, and it formed a whole movement which forced the administration to look into the issue as it raised questions on governance. So the activists resorted to demonstrations, peaceful protests were held all over the United States, and slowly it started attracting the attention of the people internationally. It got recognition, and it gained the support of a lot of people. So in 2020, Black Lives Matter movement, this Black Lives Matter movement, it was on its peak. So at that time, there were 500,000 of people who took part in the protests, and in around 550 places around the world, not only that particular place where the incidents were happening, but everywhere. So it is actually compared to this Arab Spring and Dalits movement. So it got a lot of recognition at that time. So the next second campaign which I'm going to speak about is, okay, as you can see on your screens, I forgot to see this. As you can see on your screens, there's a post which is there, which I got from Facebook, where you actually see a person who is commenting on this particular incident. So he writes that he's not any official or any famous activist, just someone, just a normal random person. So he's writing that black bodies will no longer be sacrificed for the rest of the world's enlightenment. So this is one example, one of the examples of a comment which you get on social media. So now if you go to Twitter, if you go to Facebook, and you just type out in the search bar this particular hashtag Black Lives Matter keyword, you will be able to search for a lot of posts which were made at that time, and you can go to the comments which people were making. So this particular post is actually, you can see it's getting 105, 6 likes like this. So, this is just one example of a post. There are many other posts which obviously were there. So second campaign which I want to pick is India Against Corruption. So it is an anti-corruption movement in India. If you see the pictures which are available, which are there on the screen, you will be able to recognize. So it was an anti-corruption movement in India which happened around in 2012, way back in 2012. So leading to the introduction of the Chand Lokpal bill. So it was a time when Anna Hazare and his followers, they came together and they organized a hunger strike and peaceful protests. So the new media had, at that time, it was developing, it was getting very famous with people. So the new media had a great role in shaping this ISD, the Against Corruption movement, you can say. So as the internet and social media, they were full of articles and uh, blogs about the day-to-day happenings when Anna Hazare was sitting on a strike. So the Facebook, it had almost 5.5 lakh followers. I got to say that it had almost 5.5 lakh followers who just not only participated in the discussion, but actually they went to the place where he was fasting, and they became a part of the protest. So Twitter also witnessed a massive response on the same issue, and thus this movement enjoyed a great reach. It enjoyed a great reach. It could reach millions of people because of the use of new media platforms for promoting this campaign. So new media is becoming more and more significant day by day. As you can see, there's a screenshot which I've put over there of Facebook about this particular movement which was posted. So this is one of the groups which were formed on Facebook about this particular campaign, and you can see the day-to-day activities, the day-to-day developments, they are being posted along with pictures and everything. So new media is becoming more and more significant day by day, and it has become an instant way of disseminating the information globally. So the new media has got the capacity to break geographical barriers, enabling people, irrespective of the place where they are at the present, they are capable of knowing the issues around the world. So hundreds of Facebook pages related to this Anna Hazare movement, the India Against Corruption movement emerged, and the majority of these pages, they were not opened by the people who were protesting. It was not opened by the people who were the protesters. It was opened by the normal random people who were actually who witnessed this incident and who were enthusiasts of this particular campaign. So it was not the official team who was making all these Facebook posts. It was people like you and me who were doing it. So we all know how big the movement has become and the dimensions it acquired at that time. So that Arvind Kejriwal was a very active supporter of the movement, is now the Chief Minister of Delhi and who runs the Aam Aadmi Party also. So now another particular campaign which I would like to discuss is this particular picture which you can see on your screen, Jallikattu. So now what is Jallikattu? Jallikattu is a traditional sport which was practiced in Tamil Nadu during the Pongal. This sport is about releasing a bull in the middle of the crowd, and people they try to ride the bull, catching its hump for as long as possible. So you have to ride the bull for as long as possible. So this sport was banned by the Supreme Court on the grounds of cruelty towards animals as well as towards human beings because they also get hurt while practicing the sport. So participating in the sports, many people they get injured, they die, and the Supreme Court that's why pronounced that this should be banned because of the cruelty and harsh treatment towards the bulls. So when in 2017, there were around 200 people who were linked with this sport. They were arrested. It happened so that they were arrested, and many people they gathered in protests to support these arrested people. Also, a lot of use of the social media was made to share memes, videos, pictures, and different posts started coming up to explain people about the importance of this particular festival, the Jallikattu sport. So it made people, these posts were provided to the people with the intention to make them understand about the post and what is bull rearing. They try to make the people understand that what bull rearing is all about. That is not only a fun activity. This Jallikattu is not only a fun activity, but it is also linked to their livelihood and their profession. It is actually part of their lives. It is not simply a tradition or a culture. If this sport is banned, they would also lose their profession. Also the animals which they were rearing, they used to look after those animals, so they would also lose their homes and obviously food. So many film stars and many personalities they came forward in order to support this protest. So this particular picture which you can see on the screen is about the music album. It's a screenshot of the music album, which you can also find on the internet. It's there. So it's a song called Takkaru Takkaru by Hip Hop Thumbs Up, who came forward to support for this particular sport. So it's a 12 minutes video which very interestingly combines it very interestingly combines the song with the stunts which were performed during the sport. Many interviews of social activists, many people who are engaged in the process of bull riding, villagers were interviewed. So in the form of storytelling and in a very interesting way to tell you about what this entire sport is all about. This amongst the people in order to get support from the people. So it was actually successful in getting a lot of support. As you can see that this particular video, it was able to get 21 million views. So also during this particular campaign, extensive use of online portals were made, which explained, as I said, the reason for why this particular sports is carried out and why this protest is justified. So every possible new development was shared on social media, Facebook, and everywhere. So it would be interesting for you to know that many people who were supporting this cause were actually youngsters. So at last, the Supreme Court had to lift this ban. So we can say this campaign was quite successful in this. So then there are some more screenshots from Twitter, which show you how the campaign was organized and the protests are going on. So there were so many people. There was a huge crowd in order to support those farmers. And different hashtags were used at that time, like Jallikattu, Save Jallikattu, Tamil Nadu, amend this particular act, and Justice for Jallikattu, amend PCA, Justice for Farmers, Save Our Culture. So various hashtags were used. Okay, so again, this is a campaign called the hashtag Last Selfie campaign. So now it happened that in 2015, the Danish branch of an NGO, World Wildlife Federation (WWF), it developed a campaign making use of short-lived nature of snapshot posts. So now it happened that when you post a picture or when you make a post on Snapchat, it disappears after some time. So what they did was that they, to convey the message that these endangered species would leave the earth, they would get disappeared. They made use of this feature of Snapchat, and they, what they did was that to convey the message, this organization it alerted Snapchat users to how quickly endangered species would also disappear. The way your posts are disappearing, these animals would also disappear. So they made this collage of pictures of the endangered species, and they wrote, "Don't let this be my last selfie. Don't let this be my hashtag last selfie." So it actually harnessed the sentiments of the people. The WWF users, they took two simple actions. They asked people to make a donation and share the post. So along with these pictures, they asked the social media users to share this post and also make a donation for it. So as the picture would disappear, do not let these animals disappear. That was the idea. So the campaign was a very simple one, but it was very successful. So as per the reports, if you go by the reports, they say that within hours of these Snapchat posts being made, 5,000 people actually shared these posts on Twitter. By the end of 1 or 2 weeks, more than 120 million uh, Twitter users had seen this particular message, and a lot of charity was collected for the fundraising campaign. So the World Wildlife Federation didn't simply choose to post these Snapchats because of the medium's popularity. They made use of this particular medium only in order to harness this particular idea, so that it becomes more compelling. Okay, so this is you all must be recognizing this hashtag justice for SSR campaign. So it now happened that the sudden demise of the popular actor Sushant Singh Rajput, it took the internet by storm, and we all have witnessed it. The fans and the users on social media, they started posting memes, photographs of the late actor, claiming that the death is unnatural and the result of some conspiracy surrounding the actor. So his family members and social media users, they started demanding for a CBI inquiry, and they wanted a stricter action to be taken. So people also started claiming that the death, whether suicide or not, it was the result of nepotism which existed in the Mumbai film industry. That those were the comments which came, and it also dragged Twitter users and the different social media users. They tried to drag various film personalities into the crime. So they went ahead to accuse many popular actors, directors of the industry as to be involved with this issue and in this act. And many memes were circulated to insult them, which also led to the social boycott of all the newly released movies at that time. Actually, many movies flopped as a result of the social boycott, which the internet users and the society had decided. So the social media, Twitter, Facebook, they all were full of posts with this particular hashtag justice for SSR. It attracted a lot of attention of the mainstream media as well. So as social media is not monitored, many users they resorted to negative comments. They started making negative comments on the celebrities, which also show the negative aspect of online activism, particularly when social media users resort to name calling, witch hunting, and defaming many people who were maybe involved or not involved. So who were related to the particular person. So also because of the nepotism debates, the much required discussion about mental health took a backseat. You must remember this Deepika Padukone, a very popular actor. She started a campaign on promoting mental health. So, but at that time, she also faced many comments, many negative comments like this, that she was being called depression ki auntie and depression ki karta dharta and all. So, social media can also have a negative side if you look at this particular instance. So, despite all this, in this particular instance, it shows that nothing can escape the eyes of the social media activists. And the social media activists can speak about anything and they can create awareness of issues which are there in the society which need attention, and they can mobilize the public. They have the power of mobilizing public opinion. So though in this particular case, no particular result can be said to come out, as as there was no result which we can say has been concluded. As the efforts and the action, they were not they were not like, they were very scattered and they lacked the focus. So till today, this hashtag still is being used to recall the late actor, and many of his followers they write on social media regularly about his good behavior and how talented he was as a person. And many a times you would still find posts lamenting on the loss of the industry upon his death. So these are few posts which, some examples of the posts which you would generally find on social media on this issue. So again, a very popular movement, the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement was started by an actor, an American actress, Elisa Milano, who shared her story of an assault by a co-actor. So it later spread like fire, and people from various realms of life, they made their story known on social media. So people started using the hashtag Me Too, and they started sharing similar personal experiences on social media. So this campaign became widespread, and it like many such experiences of people were made known to the public, and it also received widespread criticism for such acts. People who were offenders, they also received widespread criticism for such acts being done. So the movement brought justice to many people, as they got a platform where they could speak about, where they could voice their grievances and tell the world about their experiences. So that is also very important. The person who started this movement with a tweet also had no idea that it would become a worldwide campaign like this. So this campaign was received well by the people and was successful in creating awareness about the issue. More executives now are aware, and strongly and publicly they communicate that inappropriate behavior towards anyone will not be tolerated by any organization. The campaign is an example of how online activism could reach the real world, and how social media can spark a collective action. How what role does social media play in this? So this online post went ahead to become a whole online activism campaign in itself, and had the capability to bring about social change and turn it into a social movement. So these are various posts which you would generally find on social media related to this movement. Okay, now taking you to another very popular campaign, School Strike for Climate. So as we all know, climate change is a major threat to sustainability, and it is one of the sustainable development goals which is set by the United Nations. And the campaign, this particular campaign, School Strike for Climate, outside the Swedish Parliament in 2018, was carried out in order to wake up the government to cut down on carbon emission, which spiraled into a big movement that pushed world leaders to commit towards environmental conservation. So this campaign was run by Greta Thunberg, which is a very popular name. You must have heard it. So Greta Thunberg, she advocated for climate protection and made ample use of social media like Instagram and Twitter for promoting her cause. So as you can see, there are two pictures which are put over here. So this particular picture of Greta, which the second picture which is there on the right hand side, this picture is very famous, and mostly this is the particular way in which she posts different photographs of hers on her Instagram account and other social media accounts. So Greta posted a picture of herself with the School Strike for Climate board, which she always has in her hand, and this is the actually her statement which she makes whenever she makes a post. So this was taken outside the Parliament House, this particular post which I am referring to. So she mentions that she is in the 49th week of the school strike, and she asks people to take action for climate change. So many of her posts are call to action. She actually urges people to close, not to go school on a particular day and sit with her and support her cause. So she demands people to wake up, as she writes that climate change doesn't go on a summer break, and neither would the protesters take a summer break. So she highlighted the need for fighting against climate change. So come and keep on flooding her profile. I have checked the profile, and she has got huge number of comments every time she makes a post, and many of the comments which she gets are from different languages. So that shows the diversity, the reach, the huge reach she has. So a user at Klaus Peter, he wrote that a child like Greta can make everyone proud by supporting the environment. Now another user he writes that the people of Brazil are in Greta's support. Also, many said that she's doing brave work and it would change the world in a positive way. So there are many who criticized her also and taunted her also by telling her to go back to school. Why are you participating in such activities? You are no scientist who claims to provide all this knowledge to experts. And they urged her to go back to school and went to the extent of calling her a so-called climate protector. So they wrote like this: so-called climate protector. You try to be a so-called climate protector who doesn't go to school, and if she's not getting educated, how can she talk about such things? So she thinks she's the lone educator. So such were the comments which are also there on her profile, on her posts, while she's trying to gather support for her cause. They commented on her outfit also, which she's wearing in this particular post, and complained that Greta, while preaching for climate, has excused herself from harming animals because she's wearing that particular animal skin print. They commented that her outfit, which she's wearing, is something from which she excused her from, and she excused herself from harming animals, and that she's wearing leopard skin trousers. So yet another user, he writes that she is no scientist and her knowledge on such issues is not going to help anyone with climate change issue. So better, why are you shouting? Just quiet down. So if you go to her profile, you will find that, as I said, there are many comments on her posts in different languages from across the world. She has been also applauded around the world. She has received appreciation from many celebrities and many eminent personalities for her efforts. And still, this campaign still is going on, and she actually still posts. She still keeps on posting about such issues on her profile. So she, at that time, she also featured on the Time magazine as the Person of the Year. This happened in 2019, and it made her very famous at that time. And also because of her efforts, though also she received a lot of support from everyone, not only from her contributors, but from all around the world. So the government was also compelled to place certain measures in check for carbon emissions. So she has been an inspiration for this carrying out this movement, and this movement of hers inspires movements all around the world. So there are many places where such similar movements have been organized, taking inspiration from her. So she has also got support from many people around the world, which is the result why this campaign was so successful by her. So yet another campaign which caught my attention is Bring Back Our Girls. So around in 2014, there were 200 girls who were kidnapped from the government's girls' secondary school in Nigeria by some Islamic terrorist group. And there were many attempts which were made by the local people in order to rescue the girls, but the captors, they could not be traced. The girls could not be found at that time. So the parents and the other people, they went to the social media and they wrote about it, and they complained about the government's negligence towards this issue. The government was very slow, and it had a very slow and inadequate response system. So the news caused international outrage for the a terrorist group and the Nigerian government also. So these posts, they caught the attention of millions of people internationally, and they also sparked protests in London and even in Los Angeles also. So it was a lawyer, Ibrahim M. Abdullahi in Nigeria, who started this particular hashtag. So this particular hashtag movement was also started by a commoner, not any organization or not any celebrity. So this particular hashtag, Bring Back Our Girls, were used by this particular lawyer in around 2014 in a tweet which he shared. And this caught the attention of the Nigerian activists. So more than 100 girls who were kidnapped are still missing, but it was successful. But the people at that time, they were successful in getting back 100 or so students. So the movement also offered a $3 lakh cash reward to anyone who could help locate the girls or save the girls. So many celebrities, they supported this particular cause, and they also helped in rescuing the girls. So many celebrities, they supported the movements and helped the girls being recovered, and they uploaded photos of themselves also on social media. As I will just show you one particular picture. This last one, the one which you can see on your right hand side. Okay, so this campaign, as you can see on the picture on your screen, at that time, the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, she took to social media and she spoke. She wrote against the kidnapping of the girls from the school, and it actually helped in creating awareness. And many other celebrities also, they wrote about it, like this particular post which you can see over here by Hillary Clinton. She also tweeted along with this hashtag, and she also wrote about, she also protested against this particular incident. So it also attracted the attention of the larger media and the larger community of people. So let's move on to the last campaign which I want to share with you, which is I Can Never Forget. So Syrians, after the Syria war, what happened was that this particular hashtag was very popular. So users of the internet who were witness to the Syrian war, they started sharing their first-hand accounts, experiences through Twitter, which turned into a viral hashtag I Can Never Forget. So these posts which you can see over here, they are the personal harrowing experiences of users, of the people who were who were a witness to the Syrian war, and they talk volume about the destruction which a war causes, and the images which are stored inside the human memory for a lot of time, which are the results of a war. So as you can see on the screen, this is one particular post which says that this photo of the makeshift graves for people killed in bulk by the airstrikes, the Saudi airstrikes. So you see a picture of the graves being there. Then again, another user writes that a young woman studying medicine was attending a anatomy class in the university. So the body she was working on actually belonged to one of her relatives. So these are some of the events which people started sharing about their experiences about the Syria war, and these are really very depressing experiences. So they started sharing it with this particular hashtag, I Can Never Forget. So which actually takes your attention to how much destruction this particular war had caused and how much of destruction a war can cause. So this particular hashtag also went a lot viral. So this was all which I had to say. So if you remember any more such social movement or a particular hashtag which went very viral for a particular cause, do let us know. So the adjustment, I'll stop sharing my screen. Huh. Yes. Hello, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Swati ma'am. It was really wonderful, and how you have covered all the news segments and the social media activism. How and nowadays it's a very regularly seen thing. The act and welcome, Amrish sir. How are you? How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So so good to have Amrish sir here on this platform.
Yeah.
So, sir, your comments on
Yes.
Hello,
Swati
sir. How are
ma'am's
you?
session.
Yeah, I was listening to Swati, since the time she started the presentation, and definitely this is a very, very vital area which she was talking about, because today is the internet age, and internet has provided us a tool which was earlier unheard of. launching any campaign for any social cause till few years back, till the time internet had not arrived, it was completely for the print media, for the newspapers to carry any campaign for social change, be it the issue of women atrocities, be it the issue of dowry and all. So there have been so many such campaigns which print media used to take up, and which definitely brought changes in our legal system, in our social system and all. But then internet has provided us a tool wherein it's not completely on the mainstream media, the newspapers, the radio channel or television channels to take up an issue, but the issues can be taken up by the common people. That's the beauty of the internet, that even the receivers that we normally feel are there in the case of the conventional media or the mainstream media, they themselves have come to the forefront. They can create their own content, they can launch their own campaign, and there could be a people's mobilization on such issues, be it the political changes or the social changes or any kind of development issues which are there in the society. And there are so many examples of this kind in the world. And I'm happy that Swati gave such a vivid picture by quoting, by illustrating so many campaigns from all around the globe, wherein the social media provided a very vital platform. And she used the term internet activism. Obviously, internet is being used for so many purposes, for not always for good purposes. But despite this, if there are issues like if we talk about the health issues, or if we talk about the issues of the personal freedoms, if we take the example of the issues of privacy. So there are all such issues wherein internet is providing a very important tool, and on the social media platform. And particularly, I will refer to the Twitter, which is playing a very significant role in mass mobilization on right issues. There are wrong issues as well, but there on the right issues, there are such kind of awareness, whether we call it the human right issues or the personal freedom issues. So Twitter is there wherein people can take up, and not only people can express their views, their opinions, but they can also reach out to the concerned authorities, to the concerned agencies by tagging them, so that their opinion, their grievances, all that can reach to the people who are responsible for providing a solution to that all. So this is really a very important topic which Swati chose for her presentation, and I'm really happy to listen that there's a quality presentation here. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
sir. Thank
indeed.
you.
All the points are covered, and the best thing is now, when social media has come up, everybody has got a lot of powers, but we all need to understand that with powers comes a bigger responsibility.
Definitely.
So every individual, while using social media, needs to ensure they are using it for the betterment of the society and for the human race, and not just spilling the beans. At the same time, sir, there is a strategy required for social media research and to get the best results also. So tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we'll have Mr. Tanmay Samanta ji coming over for a session on SEO strategy for better search results. And he'll be covering this topic and will guide us all how this SEO strategy, which is again a new field, which did not exist 10 years back, is there in much demand today. So he will explain us on how the importance and how this can be used for the better result. So we are excited and waiting for tomorrow's session.
Thank you so much.
So with this, I'd like to thank Swati ma'am and Amrisa for your time today. I know Swati ma'am has to leave early today, so we are not taking live questions, but we'll be happy to meet you again on our platform someday, some time. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Bye-bye.